In this video we're going to go through the process of getting my Bundera up this rock step. I don't reckon I've got much of a chance of doing this unless I'm on the end of the winch. But I'm going to try and apply all of my driving skill and technique to make it happen without the winch. Let's see how we go. Here at Mad Four Drive, I am all about educating and building the four-wheel drive community so we can wheel well. And I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and then you'll get all those notifications and it'll be fantastic. All right, so what I think I'm going to be doing here, because I look at this obstacle and I go, well, I got 33-inch tyres. They're a Maxxis Razor. I'm twin locked. I've got reduction gears in the diff. So it's a very, very capable little short wheelbase vehicle. The big challenge that vehicle has is when it gets on the steep stuff, all it wants to do is flip itself over backwards or roll onto its side because the wheelbase is effectively square. The width is more or less the same as the length, which is the reason I like it, because it makes it so technical to drive. And this obstacle here is right at the top end of this vehicle's ability, or at least the top end of my ability to drive this vehicle. Let's put it that way. So when I look at this obstacle, there's a number of potential drives that we could work out and potentially do. The first would be to come in from there and attack this corner here, trying to pick up on this little lip in here and pick up that. The problem with that is I've got nowhere to go. I'm going to go straight towards you guys in the camera, and so I need to turn across, and that means the right rear is going to fall into there like that. I can't see that line working for me, so I've disregarded that. Then I look at this side here. I think this is my only chance, is to drive up through here, front, picking up there and driving up. The challenge of that is getting onto that line. You see, if I come back down here, to position the vehicle correctly, I've got to come up in here, as tight up into this rock as I can. The front's got to turn beyond the apex so the back tyres follow in to hit that point. So the front's got to come out around like this. If I can get on there, it'll work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the vehicle on there. So that's a challenge because of that rock there. Then when I start coming up, this rock is obviously something that I don't want to hit it. I'm odd like that. And what I think is going to happen is the right rear is going to sit in here, this front wheel is going to lift, and it's going to depend on how things happen at that point. I don't think the vehicle's going to want to lay that way. I think if anything, the vehicle's going to want to lay this way. The other challenge with this line is if I can get the tyres to hook into here, I won't slide this way. But that's a wheelbase thing, you know. That's my critical point. Where the left wheel sit is where it's going to sit. So I'm hoping it sits and hugs that lump to stop us skewing this way. Until I get the vehicle on here and have a taste, I don't really know. It's going to be interesting to find out. Now let's run up the top here and have a think about the next stage. Whenever I'm attacking an obstacle, I always chunk it down into little bite-sized pieces. That's piece one is getting the vehicle lined up. Chunk two is coming up the step. Once I'm up the step, I now want to position the vehicle for the rest of the obstacle. So if I get into this face here, I'm going to be up. It's going to be a big right-hand front wheel lift and so on. So I could come around, put my left onto that rock face and go up through there. The rear is going to follow into that rut. Again, I get close to that rock. So I feel like I want to come up that step and come right into this corner here before I turn up, and Hopefully that'll have the back far enough this way that I can crawl up through there. This is not something I'll be doing with any pace. I'll punch it up that step, then I'll crawl it up through here. Now this is all theory at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen in practice. So once we come up through here, this bit should be relatively easy. I'll just be crawling, feeling the vehicle coming up through here. All right, and then we get to this section here. This, on the surface, this looks really simple, and to be honest, it should be. But I'm thinking about it anyway as part of my drive. I want to stay hard to the right, and then I'm going to come up through here. If I fall down into this rut here, the vehicle will get up, but it will get a big moment on it. And I know the cameras don't never show the steepness of a hill. It's not steep here, but it's not flat either. So I'm just aware of that. So my preferred line is to sit right against this rock here. Anyway, let's get down in the vehicle and start doing the drive and see where we end up. I will say this, I have got my winch gear up and ready to go. I'm going to have a tree trunk protector set up here and ready for a winch, and I'm also going to have a recovery rope in place as a damper. What I find, I've got so much traction with these Maxxis razors that the vehicle on rock will pig root on the winch line, and I run the risk of breaking my winch line. So I put a recovery rope in the winch scenario, and that acts like a big shock absorber, and it just takes a lot of that bounce out of things. So I'll set that up and I'll have it ready to go, and one of the cameramen, Luke, he'll run the winch out for me if I need to hook that up. All right, I've just mentioned the recovery rope. If you love what I do here at Mad Matt Fall Drive, there is a way you can support my channel, and this is for Australians only at this stage. If you go to the website A247 and you use the code MADMAT, you get 20 bucks off any order on their website, and that is any order over 100 bucks. And what's more, I get a little bit of a kickback, which helps me keep producing content and sharing what I know. It's not much, but the little I do know with you guys. Let's get in the vehicle and have a go. All right, here we go. So I'll just get online and then I'm going to lock her on. I'm just going to front lock her for the moment. So I want to get the rear over there as much as I can, obviously. See, okay, so I'll just do a little back and fill. I've only got the front locker in. Okay, that looks about right. I'm just wiggling the tyres to get the steering in. So now I'm just looking at trying to envisage where the rears are going to travel. So I'm going to pop the front up this step at that point, because it's the rear that needs to hit that, not the front. Like the front will get up this. I will put the rear locker in. Okay, now this is where a spotter's nice, because I can't see exactly where we need to be. So I feel like I'm on line actually. If I can get the front past that rock, which I feel like it wants to do. Okay, we're climbing that rock, aren't we? It look wild, does it? Yeah. Okay, here I go. Okay. So what I'm doing now, I brake whilst I'm driving the accelerator. So my foot's on the clutch and then my foot is on the brake and the accelerator, and I sort of rock my foot. So I'm just repositioning my foot so I can do that at the moment, because the handbrake won't hold this. And then I transition. So there's the transition. Ah! I can't lose the line, I'm bang on the line. Okay, that's the line there. All right, so now, all going well, I want to hold that there. Okay, that left and right. Now I'm going to clutch out off the brake, and I'm going to drive. Here we go. Wow! Okay, wow. Now, I'm not really on the line I planned. Okay, oh, don't go down. Oh, I need better brakes. Oh, the adrenaline's absolutely smashing me at the moment. I've got the shakes going. Okay, I've got to remember that step, so. Okay, there's all right. All right. Okay, wow. Oh man, I tell you what. Oh, I tell you. Oh man. So I have tried to drive that before. I had the old Mickey Thompson MTZs on. No hope, no hope. I've just fitted the Maxxis Razor. What size are they? 33 12.5 15s. The traction on that was ballistic, like fair dinkum. That was ridiculous. That's like the trucks I know that drive that lately, they're running 37 plus inch tires. I'm on 33s. Oh, so good, so good. All right, you know what guys, I'm just going to drive out the top of this because this has got so much traction, it's not a concern. Wow, I'm shaking. Oh man, shake. Luke, one of the camera guys, he's just giving me a bit of a tip and getting me online, which is nice, you know, like driving with a spotter is always good. I do a lot of it on my own, but I always prefer to have a good spotter I trust.
Yep, right in. Yep, that's it. There.
So.
Yep, that's the line. Yeah, if that's the line, you can just turn right a little bit now that your back's over. But like, if that same uncomfortable position, if we're going
so if I just drive, you should.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of those Bundy moments.
Obviously, you're in there, but it's really awkward.
Okay, what I'm going to do, yeah.
Just come back and reassess if you want. So
No, it's all good.
You're flat here, it's going to drop down, but it's all flat. Yeah,
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to square myself up a bit. Do that and drive up that way a bit more. Isn't it funny, you go and climb a big monster step and a little thing like this gets difficult, but we'll make it this time, I reckon.
Hey Matt, your front locker's fixed.
Ah, neither locker's in, there's my problem. I'm going backwards even still.
That was that theory of the...
Yeah. Yeah. So my motor started running backwards then. These Ecotechs are prone to that. So I've done a video where I talk about front locker versus rear locker. I just made a mistake then. I forgot to flick my lockers on. And you could see how the attitude of the vehicle was horrendous. And, you know, it's just one of those silly things. Adrenaline's pumping and I forgot. And that's where you get yourself into trouble. But as you can see, with the lockers on, I walk up there. So there you go, I just made life difficult for myself by a silly mistake. Well, I reckon that's got to be up there with one of my most successful drives ever. What an absolute hoot. The adrenaline's calmed down now, so that's a good thing. But I think the learning moments in this are taking the time to look at an obstacle and break it down into chunk size bits and go, okay, I'm going to do this first, then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that. So in this case, I'm going to position the vehicle correctly. We did that. Now we're correct. Now I'm going to drive the step. We did that. And we just executed the plan. The tyre running up on the top of this was just worked out for us. It wasn't the plan, but it worked. And I mean, that traction that those tyres was giving me made that work, and that's the key to having a good set of tyres. After that, we then moved up through here. Now once I got up the step, the adrenaline was obviously going pretty hard, but I was actually off the line I was hoping for, so that meant that I did have to deal with this big rock step here. it worked out for us. So let's head up to the next obstacle, because that's really where I stuffed up. So what happened was we stopped to reset the cameras and I flicked my lockers off. There was no need for the e-lockers to be on, and I forgot to turn them back on. And then I'm trying to drive the obstacle and the vehicle was behaving badly, and I still had a bit of adrenaline going and I just forgot. Simple as that. But essentially that's what caught me out. If I'd taken off with the lockers in, I would have driven straight up this. Instead I farted around and made something simple look quite difficult. Anyway guys, I've had an absolute blast driving that bit of rock. I hope you've enjoyed watching the content. I'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button and the bell. Give us your comments down below. Would you drive this? What's your vehicle setup? Have you driven stuff like this? You know, look, obviously a comp truck or a rock crawler could munch this, no worries at all. 33s, short wheelbase, I'm pretty proud of that drive. Anyway, let us know in the comments down below what you think. I'm Mad Matt, stay safe on the trails.